This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Hey, as a reminder, I will be guest hosting for David Pakman tomorrow on his channel while he is out gallivanting across Europe. I would appreciate it if you tune in, but also remember that I'm also going to be here doing videos here. It's just double the work to help a buddy out. So check it out. A lot of people, let me start with this. I'm going to be talking about Jamie Raskin today and something he said on the Sunday shows, but I want to, some people admire, fanboy out or whatever about athletes or celebrities. I'm just that kind of a nerd that the people I really look up to and admire tend to be political. I mean, it is the job I have and the world that I traffic in. It is the thing that's on the tip of my tongue at all times. If I'm out at dinner or I have people over to the house, we're talking about politics. We moved to Washington, D.C. It shouldn't be a surprise. But Jamie Raskin is one of these people that I greatly admire. Part of it is the fact that he embodies certain characteristics that I just don't. I'm a little more outwardly passionate. Like you could see it. I am bombastic. I'm a little bit more aggressive in the way that I talk and think and act. And Jamie Raskin he's passionate, but he's not those other things. He is dispassionate. He talks plainly and clearly with no hyperbole. He's a man of fact. But he also loves this country. He loves this document that Republicans act like they love. This, to Jamie Raskin, the Constitution, if I'm waving it around too much, this to Jamie Raskin is an ideal. It is aspirational. It's something we should be looking to. We should be endeavoring at all times to live up to the words, not the men who wrote the words, but to create a more perfect union. He's the real deal to me. So I want to talk about this particular clip, this moment in this interview, where an offhand comment I hope is going to come to fruition. And because he said it, I believe it is, because I look up to him that much, that they're going to be releasing a report that outlines the violations of the emoluments clause, all the millions of dollars that was earned by Donald Trump. Earned is a little rich, but that was taken in by Donald Trump through his businesses, his litany, satellite series of businesses all around that foreign governments kicked into. Because when Donald Trump was president, they would come to D.C. and stay at Trump International Hotel as a way to ingratiate themselves to Donald Trump because they knew he's looking. He's wondering where they're staying, and if you're going to be pouring money into my coffers. We saw it not only with foreign countries, we saw it with the entire political machine of the Republican Party all going to dinner there, staying there, having drinks there, putting money into Donald Trump's pockets. We also saw, I'm sure, states, the government of Idaho, when they send a delegation that they're staying at the Trump Hotel. It was gross. We saw foreign governments. It violated the Constitution. Anyway, I'm going to play this clip from Jamie Raskin. Watch this, and then I'm going to talk about exactly what the emoluments clause is. People think there's one emoluments clause. There's actually two, and I think he violated both, and we're going to talk about it. Here, one of my heroes, Jamie Raskin.
Look, whether or not it's criminal, whether or not it warrants special counsel status, are you concerned about this stuff?
Here's what I'm concerned about. During the Trump administration, we saw the development of a completely new public philosophy, which is that government is not an instrument of the common good and the public interest. Government is an instrument for private self-enrichment for the guy who gets in, for his family, for his private businesses. And that's a model that we're seeing all over the world.
But you don't approve of that model, obviously.
I do not.
You denounced that model.
That's what Putin is doing.
Donald Trump, yeah.
That's what Orban is doing. That's what Marcos is doing. That's what El Sisi is doing. That's what
it's been going on since the dawn of mankind.
Well, but it's new for America that some somebody would get in and basically just say, everything is corrupt and I'm just as corrupt as the next guy and I'm going to take money, as Trump did, from China, from Saudi Arabia, from the United Arab Emirates. I mean, look, his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, pocketed a cool $2 billion
from Saudi Arabia.
And in a corporation
he created the Saudi portfolio in the White House. But what about Hunter?
So I am concerned about it, and I'm concerned not just about public officials like Donald Trump and Jared Kushner do it, but even family members who water ski along for the ride. And I have been, begging my colleague, Chairman Comer, for us to do a serious analysis of what the laws should be about money making.
And you would take part in a serious investigation?
Yes, of course we would. And we're going to release a report about all of the foreign government emoluments, millions of dollars we can document that Donald Trump pocketed at the hotels, at the golf courses, through business deals when he was president, and that his family got. But they've not laid a glove on Joe Biden as president. They haven't been able to show any criminal corruption on his part. What they've got is Hunter Biden, and we all seem clear that this guy was addicted to drugs and did a lot of really unlawful and wrong things. And we have said, let the justice system run its course. They're not saying that about Donald Trump. Anytime Donald Trump actually gets indicted after a grand jury has already determined that there's probable cause,
they attack the prosecutors.
First, before I move on, that was a long preamble before I got to the video, so I know I'm running late here. But let me say this about, I've said many times about Hunter Biden that if he committed crimes, he should be prosecuted. He should be investigated. There should be a trial. And a jury of his peers, under our rules of law, should find him guilty and he should be punished. He should face his crimes. I do believe he committed crimes. I think he's admitted to having committed crimes. There was going to be a plea deal that was pulled off the table. But just because he's Joe Biden's son doesn't make him noble or anything else. He's a guy with all kinds of problems. It looks like he didn't pay his taxes for multiple years. He got a gun by lying on a form. These are all things that he should be held accountable for. He is, by all accounts, a rich, privileged kid who, from time to time, trafficked on his dad's name. That's not an indictment of Joe Biden. But if we truly hold these certain principles as bedrocks of who we are as a country and a people, then he should be held accountable. No one's above the law. Whether your name is Biden, if your name is Trump, if your name is Dollemore, you are not above the law. We are all equal under the law. Speaking of the law, first let me define a term. The definition of emoluments, because it's an archaic term, is a salary, fee, or profit from any employment or office. So it's just money that's being transferred. Article 1, let's start here. Article 2, Section 1 of the Constitution is the lesser known emoluments clause because the founding fathers who wrote the Constitution, and they all debated ad nauseum to come up with the rules and what the Constitution was going to read, they knew the power of money. They knew the influence that money can a pernicious, sinister influence that it can be. And so they wrote into the Constitution, not once but twice, specifically about presidents taking money. First, not about foreign emoluments, but domestic. Here's Article 2, Section 1. The president shall, at stated times, receive for his services a compensation, which shall neither be increased or diminished during the period for which he shall have been elected. And he shall not receive within that period any other emoluments, any other salary, fees, or profit from employment or office from the United States, from the federal government, or any of them, any of the disparate states that united to become the United States. And then it gives he shall also take the following oath or affirmation. And I believe this isn't just a separate part. This all comes in. That I do solemnly swear or affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Faithfully execute the office of the president, and part of faithfully executing the office of president is to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. That's in the first emoluments clause, but also not only foreign governments, but the United States can't cut him an extra check. And the other states, let's say Idaho or Oklahoma or some other radical MAGA state can't cut him a check as a way to influence decisions he's making that would impact the states. That's the first little lesser known one, I think. Here's the second, the one that most people know is Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution, which talks about foreign emoluments. No title of nobility shall be granted by the United States, and no person holding any office of profit under trust under them shall, without the consent of Congress, accept of any present emolument, again, salary, money, office or title of any kind whatever, from any king, prince, or foreign state. Donald Trump absolutely violated the emoluments clause foreign, for sure. There's records and transactions, and we've seen compilations from journalists of the millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars that he earned from foreign governments staying at his properties as a measure and a metric to influence him. But also, there needs to be an investigation into what states treasuries were paying for hotel rooms or golf outings or whatever at Donald Trump's properties, because that also violates the Constitution of the United States. Should we prosecute Hunter Biden? Sure, if he committed crimes, absolutely. Should we also hold these truths to be self-evident? That Donald Trump violated the Constitution that Republicans act like they love and adore and understand and follow, adhere to its rules? Yeah, of course we should. Is it going to happen? I don't know. The Supreme Court punted on it because he was no longer in office, so they called it a moot case. There needs to be more noise about politicians acting poorly, violating their oaths. We need to have more reverence for those who do not. And we need to hold those accountable who break the law, whether they be ex-presidents or whether they be current or whatever. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. Remember, tomorrow I will be guest hosting for David over on David Pakman's show. I'd love to see you there, but also I will still be here, so drop by and see what I'm talking about here, because I don't know day to day. If you appreciate what I do and you want to help support and produce this show, if I bring you value, click the join button, become a channel member, hit the super thanks button. Go over to my Patreon, patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I am at Dollemore everywhere on social media. If that's your thing, look me up. I'd love to see you. And I will see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.